Hello, everyone, and welcome to our SAF convention. Today, I'm here with Holland, CEO of Forest Carbon Works, a company that provides access to carbon markets for private landowners. And we're really excited to have Forest Carbon Works here with us. They're our presenting sponsor for this year's convention, and looking forward to learning more about the company through this conversation with Kyle. So we'll jump right into it. And I'll start off by saying, Kyle, thank you again so much for being here with us. And also asking you to share with our convention attendees, what is it that Forest Carbon Works does that really impacts our forestry professionals?
Yeah, thanks, Terry. I'm glad to be here. So maybe a little bit about me first. I'm a longtime member of SAF over 20 years, and I started with SAF as a certified forester, working with family forest owners. And in working with family forest owners, I recognized firsthand the constant balance these landowners are facing between maintaining the cost of ownership, maintaining property, and really managing limited revenue streams. And I also worked as a procurement forester, and I recognized in that role that landowners were often selling fiber to cover these costs, and more often than not, to cover some deeper cost of an immediate and unexpected life event, a mortgage, hospital bill, back property taxes. So I came to understand that reactive management decisions towards harvesting were sometimes detrimental when landowners were put into these situations. Landowners were missing timber pricing cycles. Then they were overcompensating with higher timber volumes, harvest volumes. And ultimately, they were arriving at this negative emotional experience of loss. So to a community of foresters and forestry professionals, Forest Carbon Works is really here to help landowners balance revenue streams by regularly monetizing the passive value of carbon storage in forests so that landowners may predictably cover those perpetual costs of maintenance and moreover, give foresters time to truly plan for sustainable management. So really our work at FCW is a tool that can be used alongside harvesting to help foresters and to help landowners diversify revenue streams.
Excellent, great information, and definitely learned something new. And I completely agree. The challenge of those trade-offs, it's so impactful, and so glad that you and your folks are stepping into that conversation with those landowners. My next question for you is definitely related to some of what you were just sharing, related to carbon markets and also harvesting for fiber. Now, the real challenge that keeps definitely rearing its head is the concept that those two uses are in conflict. And I'd love to hear your opinion and your thoughts on that. Is there a real conflict there? Is there a perceived conflict, or is there an opportunity that we're not necessarily talking about?
Yeah, so I definitely hear that contradiction between timber and offsets in my discussions in our forestry community. That's a really good and relevant question. But I think here at FCW, we see it differently. We see them as compatible uses. So we see using the chainsaw to really improve the growing space and the health of the forest. And that it really allows forests to maximize the total carbon sequestration potential over time. So it's really about thinking about the forest for more than just timber, but also carbon storage. So through our Forester Partnership Program, we help foresters come to understand some of these possibilities, and participating foresters can leverage both the tools, the carbon storage and the chainsaw, the harvesting, generally in an uneven age sense, to manage for the overall maximum value of the forest resource for landowners, really without the emotional experience that some landowners have when they go to the markets to sell timber. We do recognize that the timber markets are cyclical, and so we are engaged with our forestry partners on the long term, really helping them for more than just 1 year, but for a long period of time to navigate both the timber and the carbon components of forest management. Terry, I've talked a lot about how carbon and timber can work together, but maybe you could tell me and tell everybody here at the convention a little bit about how we could work together, SAF, the SAF community members, and Forest Carbon Works.
Excellent, and thank you for those great answers and that important information, and for a really important question. And I think that we're off to a great start. Our convention is one of our premier events, and it's so critical as a means of technical transfer and information sharing with our members, both those who are in attendance and those in a broader space of forestry and natural resources. I'll also say that, as an organization, SAF is really focused on the scientific sustainable management of our nation's forests. And so everything that you just shared is key as a key component to that. And so I think there's a lot of opportunity for us going forward to look at the various ways that we do that with our members and also engaging broader communities. So absolutely related to our publications right now with our convention and some of our online learning content. There's great ways to engage Forest Carbon Works to help bring more understanding of your programming and the tools that you provide to professional foresters, and ultimately to help keep our forests forested, which is something I know that's key to all of us. So Kyle, thank you so much for being a premier sponsor, presenting sponsor, an SAF member and a certified forester. And thank you for engaging with our 2022 SAF convention.
Thank you, Terry. I'm glad to be a sponsor of this convention.